All right, I think I've got it. YouTube changed something from the last time I was on my live last week. So nothing was turning and rotating. So I happened to just hit a button and it rotated to landscape on my phone. So here I am. I hope you guys are had a good week. This is actually my Friday, and I get to work with you guys tonight on the Regency Park card class. And this is my card club for January. And I did send out an email prior to coming on live that you've got less than 25 hours to join for January. So my registration always ends on the 20th of the month at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So you've got another day and less, 24 hours and some kind of minutes left. But anyway, we're going to make all 4 cards together. But the first thing I want to do is I need to move some things here so you can kind of see them. So let me just check my laptop. I just want to get that out of the way as much as I can so it's not a distraction. And make it straight. Okay, it's still crooked. I hate it. It's frustrating when my laptop is a little bit behind. Okay, I think I'm going to go with that. Anyway, I don't even know if you can read it. But anyway, who's on here? Debbie's here. I was waiting for you to text me, Debbie, and say, where are you? Well, I was trying to figure out my stupid camera here, my phone. So welcome, Carla. Let us know where you're watching from. I know you guys, Debbie and Carla, are on my team. But anyway, we're going to get started. I'm going to go over some just last minute things that are expiring tomorrow as with Card Club. So my ordering special for January 13th to the 20th is my Valentine's class. Now, I'll just zoom a little bit in. This punch is now back ordered, but I have it. So if there's any hearts in here that I punch out, like this one here, you'll receive it. But anyway, let's go over the cards really quickly. I did make these last week. And you'll receive all of the pieces to make this card. The stamped images I cannot send you because that's against policy, but I will send you the cardstock to stamp the hearts, and I'll make a bow out of the linen thread for you and put it on a glue dot, and that's just a basic white strip. And then on the inside, I definitely give you guys white panels because I like to have white or very vanilla on the inside of my cards. I just don't like to write on the cardstock. So anyway, that's card number 1. And card number 2 got a little inky here, but just disregard that. I love the bicycles in the designer series paper. And then this one's just very, very simple. And then here's this one with love. This is probably the most detailed card in the class. But I'll be doing all this die cutting for you. This piece of basic white oval will come to you not embossed, because what you have to do with this, if you notice, it's embossed, and what you have to do is stamp first, then emboss the paper. Since I can't stamp images for you, your oval will come just flat, no embossing. But you will get the butterfly, you'll get the daisies, the center, even that one's embossed. You'll get all the foliage, you'll get the cardstock, you're going to get the designer series paper. I love my card classes because I just, I give it all to you guys. And then the embellishments too, I use 4 different embellishments. They're all from the annual catalog. And I don't think I've ever used the heart pearls, but those are really pretty. They come in 3 different colors, shades of white. I think it was clear, white, and like a milky white, matte colored. And then I use the scalp contours in the side here, and look, I flipped my ribbon and I didn't even know it. So anyway, that's kind of a fun fold where it goes like that. So that is for my Country Floral Lane card class. Now, I know a few people, I think 3 or 4 people placed an order this week with me and they did not use a host code. So in order to receive my free card class, there's 3 different ways. You can place an order of $35 to $49.99 and you can earn 4 of these kits, 1 each. But you must use this host code here. If you don't, then I won't see it. Option 2 is placing a product order of $50 to $149.99. You'll earn 4 of these kits, an embellishment, and at least 1 celebration item for free. You must use, again, the host code when you're placing your order. Option 3 is if you place a product order of $150 or greater, you will receive all of the above plus another surprise gift from me. And when your order's 150 or more, you earn Stampin' rewards. And you should not use the host code, because if you do use the host code, those come to me, those like special perks. So anytime you place an order of 150, make sure you don't use a host code because you'll get Stampin' rewards. So say your order is $150 on the dot, you will receive $15 worth of products, free products from Stampin' Up! And that's at your own choice. And sometimes they let you go a little bit over the $15, but you'll just have to pay the difference. My website is here. You can just search my name on the Stampin' Up! Website for the Demonstrator locator, Karen McNall or Sharon, Vermont, and it should pop right up. But this is my demo ID here, which is 2229764. So again, this is my free card class. It's expiring tomorrow at 8 o'clock. I use the Country Bouquet stamp set, and it's a photopolymer stamp set. I use just about every single stamp in the case here and in the set. If you don't have this, then it's okay. You can use whatever you have in your craft room. It's not necessary 100% to own this stamp set, but if you want to make the cards exactly as is, then you'll have to have the Country Bouquet and the matching coordinating punch. It's a bundle, so, and I know you can't order it right now, but you could save it. I'm not even sure if it's going to be in before Valentine's Day, so I'd have to take a look, and I didn't have enough time to take a look before I came on live. All right, so that's one thing here. Next is I'm going to be sending out a invitation to my customers. My downlines already know about this because they have their own celebration. But I always do a customer celebration. And if you order, so what it is, you're going to earn a free spot to my special event. And if you're out of state, we can do Zoom, or you can just do it at your own time. We'll make 4 cards, have snacks, and enjoy a free gift from me. So how can you say, Karen, how you gonna give me some snacks? Well, I'll send you some really fun snacks, so you don't have to worry about it. It'll be non-perishable, by the way, but I do include snacks there. It's going to be on Zoom on March 11th from 9 to 11 Eastern Time in my craft room or yours, and it's going to be by a Zoom private link. So you order $150 or more in product during celebration, and celebration runs January 5th to February 28th, and you can earn your seat. Orders may be multiple orders during this time frame. So if you place 3 different orders of $50, and that'll total $150 in product, then you'll earn my class. As soon as you earn it, I will announce it on my Facebook page. I will not put your last name because of, privacy and what have you, but I'll say like it's Karen M. earned this class type of thing. So again, my website, you can just go to inspiredbygraham.com and click the shop now, and that'll get you right to my store. So that is celebration. I'm going to have a special host code for this. However, I did not create one yet. So hold off. Don't place any orders until I get my email out with a host code, okay? So if you're not on my email list, you just need to go to my website and fill out the pop-up or whatever it's called, a little thing that pops up after like 2 seconds, and just fill it out and it will get into my constant contact contact list. So that is Celebration. And then let's see, what else do I have here? I got a little note here. I think that is all for that. So the class today is my card club for January, and there's just a little bit of time left where you can register for January. I did have, so far I've had 2 customers sign up. So Barbara and Anita. And Anita used to be in my club and she left, and then she's coming back. So she did say a while back that she would be coming back, and she did. So I'm so happy about that. That happened about an hour or 2 ago. So welcome back, Anita. In the framed with the framed florets stamp set is which I'm going to be using, and I'm using a number of dies. I always provide $20 at least of Stampin' Up! Product. Now, I'm sorry about this. That's how it came. Once in a while, embellishments do kind of slide around. You can just blame it on UPS or whoever's throwing the boxes, but we're going to be using the paper that is called Regency Park. It's a 6x6. You'll receive a full pack, and that is worth $12. And then also you're going to receive a full package of the adhesive backed milky dots, and they are $8. Let me see, I don't know as if they give the real colors on here, and I can't remember exactly all of them, but they work perfectly with the Regency Park Designer Series paper. And my card club order just came in, so I'll be going on that this weekend. All right, so I'm going to go over the paper with you just so you can see the prints, and then we'll get going on the class. Now, this is half of a pack, so we'll just go through it really quickly. This is one of my favorite patterns. I like the Balmy Blue and the Night of Navy and the Mint Macaron. There's shaded spruce in there too, and the yellow is Mango Melody. And then we got some stripes on the back side of this paper here. And then we've got a mix of Mango Melody, shaded spruce. Those are kind of the highlight colors. And on the back side, we've got Petal Pink, tiny flowers. And then we've got Petal Pink flowers with Balmy Blue leaves. That's a little different. And then on the back side, we've got this, I know it's Mango Melody pattern. This is a really pretty pattern too. This is one of my favorites with the Balmy Blue background. And then here we've got the shaded spruce with the Petal Pink and Balmy Blue flowers. And this, oh, I forgot what red is in this one. Hold on. On the back side, it tells you the colors. So Balmy Blue, Mango Melody, Night of Navy, Petal Pink, Shaded Spruce, and Sweet Sorbet. So this reddish color is Sweet Sorbet. I did not use this pattern, but in my card club, you're welcome to use any of the patterns that you prefer. You don't have to stick with, say, this pattern. You can go with something else. But I do provide the cardstock for the patterns that I use. On the back side, we've got some Petal Pink dots. And here's another one. I do use this pattern in club. I like this background. It's like got a kind of like a basket weave type of thing, but I like this pattern. And then this is my favorite, overall favorite. On the back side, it's just got that Night of Navy. And then we've got some sweet little tiny flowers here with a combination of all the different colors in the pattern of paper. I like this side too. It kind of reminds me of a starry sky. This again is one of my favorites, and I've got some Sweet Sorbet here. Maybe I've already gone through some of these. They might have got mixed up. And okay, so here's that basket weave pattern in Petal Pink. So it's on that side. Okay, so that is the pattern paper and the designs. Again, 48 sheets of 6x6, and you'll receive a full pack. So I've got $20 exactly of Stampin' Up! Product in Card Club for January. Sometimes they go a little bit over. Sometimes they'll go as high as like $21.50 or so. But I do try to keep it around 20 because, you know, postage is going up again. So, oh, that gets a little complicated. But Card Club is $39 a month. And we'll kind of talk about it as we go along. All right, so this is the product. I'm going to just slide it over here. And I've got my Milky Dots all ready to go. Let me get a little bit cleaner here. Now, if you want to join or want more information, you can go to this website right here. You can take a snapshot of it, but I'm going to take that away in a little bit. So I'll be using the style shapes in some of the cards. I will also be using the frame florets, just a bunch of different ones, and an embossing folder too. So let's go over, this is the first card we're going to be making. I'm going to not show you all 4 cards at once. I'm just going to show them as we go. So here is all those beautiful frames kind of layered on. And I'm, again, using one of my favorite patterns here. And here are the Milky Dots. And I kind of did a couple different colors on this one. So let's grab our card kit here. I got my little cheat notes here because I didn't know what size panels I used and cut the paper. Made this class a while ago. But our main color here is a combination. We've got Night of Navy and we've got Mint Macaron. So let me just grab my bone folder, and we're going to just give this a nice little crease. I just like to go up and down a few times. That way your paper now is flat onto the desk and you can work with it a lot better. Okay, so then we've got a little strip for the inside. We've got one of the frames. And then we have another frame, and this one's got some little pieces I'm going to have to punch out. Here's another little oval and another strip. This is going to go on the Night of Navy strip. And then we've got a Night of Navy panel, and we got the DSP, and we got the white. So I'm going to slide everything over, and I'm going to kind of try to work on just some things that I can get out of my area in my workspace. So... oh, somebody's from Minnesota and it's snowing. Well, guess what? We're going to get, where I live, we're going to get 5 to 8 inches. And like, everybody thinks that's like a blizzard now. And I am a native Vermonter. I have never lived anywhere else. And I tell you what, back in the 70s, we would go to school, even if we had like 2 feet of snow, right? Nowadays, school gets canceled with maybe 3 inches of snow, and just ridiculous if you ask me, but that's just my opinion. Okay, so I just layered those together, and the DSP here is 3 by 4 1/4. You could make it 3 by 4 if you wanted to, but I just want to make it a little bit longer because I'm going horizontally. So that is that, and then we can kind of work with this one as well. Now, I had my silicone craft sheet. I found it, you guys. You know, I have been like looking for this for like weeks. I found it, or it found me. But I'm going to add this piece onto the Night of Navy strip. This one's 1 by 5 5.5. It's going to go edge to edge with a Mint Macaron. And again, I cut all the cardstock for you. You will be cutting the designer series paper, but it's not that difficult. I give you the measurements, how you're supposed to cut everything. You can just pick out the patterns that you want to use. At the end, I'll show you, I have one extra card club from December left, and I'll show you what you would have gotten in December packet as well. And that one's for sale too. I could totally sell that one. But anyway, that's that. So we've got these two together. I just got to remember if I stamped on the inside. No, I did not. So we can actually get rid of this one too. And it's just going to go right on the bottom. I like to add the designer series paper on the inside as much as I can. Use up the strips of paper that you have. I keep mine in clear file folders so I can see from the outside in. And it just makes it a lot better. Oh, that's wicked crooked. Hold on. Sorry about my voice. It's still not back yet from COVID, but it's getting there. I feel like more towards the end of the week, especially when I work today. So of course I've talked a lot more than I normally would. So my voice gets raspy at the end of the day, and still it's getting a little bit better, but not 100% back to normal. All right, so I just added that to the inside. I'm going to set these aside. Next, we're going to do a little bit of stamping. There's not a lot of stamping in this card, but we do provide a background image here. I do not have my stamps on blocks, so I'm going to have to do that. You can see how loved this stamp set is. There's only like 2 or 3 images that I have not used in this set. Take a look at that while I go over to my station where my blocks are. I'm just going to grab a few. Probably going to have to use some that are not the right size because I have them on other stamp sets because I've got multiple classes going on. So let's see. We need to have the floral, which not the floral, but the foliage is on the back, and that is this one right here. And we need to have for a special person, is this one right here. And I do love how Stampin' Up! Now puts the design on the cover. That way you'll know if you're missing any. All right, so when you're putting photopolymer stamps on your blocks, do not put them on this way. Like, actually, if you just put them on like this, our stamps, the photopolymer can get distorted. So what you need to do is put them on your surface and make sure that flat side is facing you. I use my sentiments go on at a diagonal. That way I can stamp them a little bit straighter. Okay, so that's how I did that one. This one's on a B block, by the way. And then I've got a C block here, a little bit bigger than the blue. And again, I'm going to turn this so the flat side is facing me. And this one will fit on a C block, but it's going to have to go like cross this way diagonally, or corner to corner that way. That's all we have. We will definitely need some scrap paper. So let me grab that. I got it over here. And working with photopolymer, you should be using a piercing mat. I'm just going to use my silicone craft sheet. That should be good enough. The ink colors today on this card are Night of Navy, which is the dark blue. And then I use Mint Macaron, which is the color of the cardstock in one of the frames. So to create your background, of course, open up your ink pad. And let me just put this glue away. I like to experiment. So we're going to do some first, second, and third generation inkings or stamping. So that's first, second, and third. Okay. So let me just show you the difference. So that's really dark. That's a medium, and that's wicked light. But if you want to see what your sentiment's going to look like, and this is how I figure out what generation ink color is the best. So I'm inking up in, actually, I'm going to turn it this way a little bit. I'm inking up in the Night of Navy. And I'm going to stamp. Of course, you can't hardly even read that. It looks like kind of a mess. So we're going to go over to the medium one. All right, that's a little bit better. And then this one over here, which you really can't see. So 1 is too dark, 3 is too light. We're going to go with the one in the middle. All right, so we'll grab our scrap paper once again. Our oval's going to be going this way. And then Where's my stamp? Here we go. And then again, we're going to ink it up and we're going to stamp off once. And oh, so that's, let me just ink that up again. I didn't get a full stamp. There we go. I want this to go this way. I don't want it to go up. I want it to go kind of sideways. So we'll just turn that a little bit. Now see how light that is? I don't know if you can see that. I'll probably put it in your eyes. And then we're going to go with our sentiment. And this is going to go on straight, hopefully. All right, so that's what this looks like. Okay. I just like adding a little bit of background to my white labels, just to give it a little bit of, it kind of tones it down a little bit and it's not so bright. So that is all of our stamping. Of course, I would stamp my envelope and probably put some designer series paper on the envelope flap, but I'm going to save some time and not do that step today. All right, so we're going to bring our cardstock back in. And I like to work kind of bottom to the top. So the first part is going to be this panel, skinny panel, that's going to go horizontally. Now you got to make sure that your card is opening the correct way, right? So if I was to put it on here, guess what? It's going to be the wrong side. Okay, so always check before you add any kind of paper to the front. Okay, I normally do this last, but I kind of just did it in the beginning. Then you're going to take a look at it. Now there's only going to be a little bit of this showing. The middle's not really going to be showing too much, but I kind of like to look and see what's going to be showing just by visually looking at it. So I will add my liquid glue. And we'll just kind of put it around there as a rectangle. And we'll flip it over. I kind of eyeball it. You can use grid paper if you want. So I'm just going to try to eyeball it so it's in the center of the mint macaron. Okay, then the next layer up is that mint macaron frame. But before we do that, actually, no, we can do it this way. I was thinking it might be easier to put the white onto the mint macaron, but actually it's not. I just kind of remembered that. I'm going to take my little cup here. This is my trash bin. Guess what? I have lost this thing for like 6 months, right? It's the cover to my Take Your Pick. I found it in my bin of pens last night. I was like jumping up for joy. I could not believe I finally found it. I thought I lost it, like it went under my desk or something, but I did find it, and I'm so excited. I'm getting together my list pad kits, and that's a huge undertaking. My crafting kits have been a real big hit. I am going to be continuously selling the mini clipboard kits, but right now I'm back ordered on the tear tape. So I need to order another 20 rolls of that. So you can see how busy I am putting together crafting kits. It's actually really super fun to do. And you should see, if you saw my Facebook page today, or this morning, or last night actually, I took a picture of my crafting kits. And you can see like my table is full. And the list pads are one of my favorite kits to do for craft fairs. All right, so got all those little pieces off, and they're all in that bin, but you probably will have some on your desk as well, so just make sure you kind of clean it off. All right, we'll bring this in. Now, this is going to get placed, wait a minute, let me think. Oh, almost forgot. Phew, this is going to go on right? I almost forgot that step. So I'm going to grab my last sheet of Stampin' Dimensionals. And I got to order more of those. And so we'll get, I'm going to put 5 on this one because that center is going to carry a lot of the weight. All right, so we're just going to press those back in, or the dimensionals down, just to make sure they're good and adhered to the cardstock. And then I'm just using my Take Your Pick tool to remove the backings. It's really quick to do that. And now this is going to get centered on the card. You might want to just turn it around to see which pattern you want where. But again, you're not going to see a lot of it, but you'll see some of it. All right, so that's there. Now we're going to add this piece horizontally. And to do that, all I did was I took my liquid glue and I kind of just squeezed it a little bit and I just kind of run it around. Even these like small little pieces or drops of the glue are good enough. It will stick. You don't have to go around and hit every location. Don't worry about that. Okay, so now we're going to flip it over. I'm going to put this down, but I want these here to land in the middle of that the strip here underneath the 3x4. Okay, I'll take a look at it. Just make sure it's good and going. It's going to go well. You can take, this is what I do. I take a block to press this down. That way my fingers don't get all junky and sticky. This can be just easily washed with some alcohol and dish soap, that type of thing. So there we go. That's that. The next layer up is this white frame. So again, I'll just do like a fine line of glue, not too much because it'll ease out of the edges. Okay, and then this goes right over top of the mint macaron. And you want to try to get as straight as you can. Okay, now we've got our sentiment. That's the next one up. Now, if you leave it like this, that sentiment oval gets lost. So you do need to put some dimensionals on the back of that to give it a little bit of height. So I'll just take here, I'll probably just do 3 because you can create a triangle and get most of that covered. Some people may put 4 or 5 on there. I think that's a little overkill. So I'm just going to add 3. This gets placed in the center. And I like how this oval is smaller than this frame, so you can see the designer series paper coming through. All right, now the next step, we're just going to add some of those milky dots. Let me grab those. They come in 4 different colors. And on this one, I just did a kind of a combination. I used one of the golds and one of the milky ones. I think I'll just go all this color here. I don't know what it is. If somebody could look at the catalog for me, that would be great, and post it in the comments. It's in the mini catalog, by the way. And they come in 3 different sizes. So we're going to add a larger one somewhere. And let's see, the large one will look too big right there and too heavy. So I'm just going to add it down here in this little corner. The middle one, I'm going to add, let's see, let me just put it right there just to see if it's going to be too heavy or not, meaning is it too big? It looks a little, actually, I might add both of them to the sentiment label there and just kind of put them at an angle. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. Why not? Okay, so there you go. That's our first card. Probably took about half an hour to do that, but I did talk a lot, right? Okay, so here's this card and this one. And I can tell that this has a little bit less mint macaron on the foliage and the background stamp, whereas this has a little bit more ink. But they look, I think they look fabulous. So card number 1 in Card Club, you will get to make 2 of them. All right, 2 of these cards I'll provide you with all of the die cuts. No stamped images, but pretty much you'll get everything else. And if you don't have the stamp set, don't worry. It's not going to be like a huge issue whatsoever. You can use what you have in your craft room. Okay, so now card number 2 is another one of my favorites. It's Celebrate. And let me grab the kit. As you can see, the Balmy Blue panel here, it's embossed with the Quattro, I think that's Quattro foil tile. This is on back order as well, but I think it's going to be coming in very soon. But I will provide you with the embossed panel. And even though there's no ribbon, like a whole spool of ribbon, I'm going to give you whatever I use in the card itself. So you'll have enough of this twine, or what is it called? Trim, to make that little kind of, I guess, embellishment underneath this, the Celebrate. So we've got our envelope, which you will receive as well. And this is just my little cheat note. Let me just move these off. Put that one there. I use thick white, basic white thick. Just a little bit heavier than the regular basic white. It's a little bit more sturdy. This is going to be also a kind of horizontal card. This is super easy, you guys, to put together, honestly. You can add the debossed side as the front, or you can do the embossed side. And I think you could probably tell the difference where this is all flat and then this side is all raised. And I really like both sides, but I do enjoy seeing the one that's the embossed side. So I will take my liquid glue and just, of course, run it around and a little bit in the middle. On embossed panels like this, I do like to use liquid glue because I think it just gets in the cracks there and it just gives a little bit more adhesive. All right, so I'm just gonna make sure that's pressed down. Just give it a few extra rubs there. Okay, we'll let that dry. Then we're gonna pull in a 3x4, and then the Night of Navy is just 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. Okay, and that's the other side, Mango Melody. That's a little too bright for me, but we will be using Mango Melody cardstock in one of the cards later. So this is card number 2. And then I've got that Night of Navy. Again, I like to use the liquid glue, especially when I'm using 1/8 of an inch. Okay. This gets popped up with your dimensionals. So just grab 4 of these. I'm not going to use 5 this time because you can kind of get away with it if you put them in, not on the very edges, but if you just move them in about 1/2 of an inch, then it will kind of be okay. Whoa. All right, let me just take those backings off. And see how easy that is with your take your pick. I don't want to lose that cover ever again. So we'll just put that right back on. Now again, you're going to look at your designer series paper and you're going to make sure you look at it and see which way you want it to go. So I'm looking at it this way, and then I'm going to turn it and look at it this way. I kind of like it this way. It's a little bit more heavy on this side with the flowers, and there's a little bit more Night of Navy gaps there. So I'm going to, I don't know, that my eyes are going this way. And it's just centered on that balmy blue. Then we've got to wrap some ribbon around the back side here. So we all know that Karen struggles with this, but I'm trying to get a little bit better. And I just added some Stampin' Seal. And let me grab my trim here. Let's see. Let me see how I did this. I did a really good job on this one, you guys. I really have to say, that's a pretty good job. And I think I went like this. I don't know. Kind of. I don't want to use too much because that would be, oh gosh, that's not how I did it. I think I tried to do it that way and it just didn't work. So I'm just going to do some loopy loops. Try to do it really quick. Actually, you just got to find that seal. You can't see it, but it's there. It's really sticky. Then I'm just going to come around. I'm not going to go on the same area. I'm just going to kind of come in a little bit, about a 1/4 of an inch. And then stay. and meet up there, and we'll just trim that off with my paper snips. Now, if I don't like it, I'll take it off and redo it. All right, so now I've got this little punch here. It is the Label Me Fancy punch. So it makes a nice little background, sentiment background. So I chose to use that. And then we need to stamp Celebrate, right? So we have this die cut. Actually, I don't even know where the other one is, but I got an extra one here. It's really tiny, you guys. So let's hopefully I can stamp good the first time. So I'm going to find Celebrate. And this will need to go on, it should go on a B block, but I only have one available, and it's on that other stamp we just used. Whoops, gotta put that smooth side facing us. Okay, now we use Night of Navy ink, so let me just grab that one back. I like the dark ink as my sentiment, so it does pop a little bit. Let me just bring in my silicone craft sheet back here so I can stamp. Now this has a smooth side and a rough side, and on the smooth side there's a little bit of etching to form a rectangle. So I'm just gonna stamp Celebrate. I like the font on this with the exclamation point. And let me see, on the inside we just had the Designer Series paper. So let me just check if yes, I did add dimensionals to the, can't pick that up, to the Celebrate. So we'll do that next. These regular dimensionals are perfect size for this little sentiment banner. And then this is going to go right on top of Label Me Fancy punch. You just want to make sure it's straight, and it's just a little bit off, so let me just redo it. Okay, and it's kind of the same length as the sentiment label, is pretty much the same length as the punch. We're going to flip this one over and add two, actually, since we're going over the trim, I'm going to add 4, because we're going to need to have a lot of adhesive so it sticks to the card front. Okay, so let me just take these off, and then we're almost done. We just had, after this step, we have the sentiment, or the inside of the card to work on. I didn't do too bad of a job there with that silver trim. Okay, next up, let's find our strip. And there's no inside panel, so we're going to just add it right to the card base. Now, sometimes my strips are not 5.5 inches, right? We all have strips in our paper, and it doesn't really matter if it goes edge to edge. This one is probably cut 5.25, so no big deal. We're still going to add it in. Use your scraps. Okay, my goal all the time is try to use as much of the paper pack as I possibly can, so I don't waste it. Okay, so there is the inside. We need to embellish it, and I love the Starry Night. Oh gosh, I just did a brain fart. Adhesive back milky dots, right? They look fabulous for the center of these balmy blue flowers, right? So there's 1, 2, and it looks like maybe one fell off, or I forgot to add it. So I'm going to fix this one. But first, let's focus on this one here. I'm going to grab one of the bigger ones because this is a pretty big flower right there. Oh, adds such a nice center for these flowers. And actually, let me add another big one because this flower is pretty prominent on the paper. That way I can see kind of where my triangle is going. And then I'm going to add a smaller one. Probably not down here because there's already the silver. I'm going to add it right over here. Okay, so we've got our triangle going. You could add 5 if you wanted to. I'm just going to add 3. And there you go. So let me grab this out, and then this is the one we just made. And then here's the one I made as a sample. All right, I'm going to take a break and look and see if there's any questions. And you guys can just look at those. Let me just scroll through real quick. Hi, Alice, if you're still on here. Donna. All right, don't forget the larger panel. Oh, yeah, I did, Carla. I almost did, Carla. Now my laptop is frozen. Hold on. Yep, it's frozen for some reason. Well, hopefully it'll come back. We'll see if it does or not. All right, we're going to move on to card number 3. Again, Card Club consists of 2 of these cards as well. So right now we have 4 cards, 2 of these and 2 of the Celebrates. Next up will be, I never knew Balmy Blue and Shaded Spruce go together. Well, here you go. Here's the Balmy Blue and here's the Shaded Spruce. I like this pattern of the paper because it is very bright and kind of cheerful because of the Mango Melody flowers. All right, so let's grab everything out of here. And we're going to put the sentiment off to the side right now. I'm going to try to get, because I don't want to lose any of these pieces. I want to adhere as much as I can. So again, I'm going to work from the bottom up. So the first thing I see is the Shaded Spruce. And then the piece of Designer Series paper. Now this is the same pattern. Okay. What I did was cut this 3 3/4 by 5. And then I just cut down 1 inch off. Okay. So then we're going to add this strip here and then this one here. If you wanted the full pattern, that's kind of what it would look like on the Shaded Spruce. I wanted to make an area where we could kind of see some of the foliage and also add some ribbon. And I think it showcases the denim ribbon very nicely. All right, so let's just add some glue here. And we'll flip it on over. Now I'm going to look at the pattern. It doesn't really matter where our flowers are going because we're going to be flipping this one up, so we're not matching it up. So I'm going to add it this way because of the Mango Melody is really bright. And in the middle, it's going to get covered up with a sentiment panel. So I think it will look nice with a Mango Melody. Okay, now we're going to add adhesive to the backs or the front side of this paper. And then grab my craft sheet. I'm going to match this right up. Now, it's okay if it goes over. We've got to have what you want to do is focus on the 1/8 of an inch because you're going to cover up that seam anyway with the ribbon. All right, so that's what that looks like first. The next step is to add the ribbon. Okay, so what I do is I will cut about this much off. So I don't know, was that 5, 6, a little over 6 inches of ribbon, just a 1/2 of an inch over the edge. I like to add a little bit of seal, like right in the middle, right at the edge, and that edge too. That way, when I put the ribbon down, it's going to stay, hopefully. Let me just go this way instead. So I'm pulling it, right? So it's going to lay down as good as it can. So see, now it's stuck on there. I won't lose it. I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to grab some tape and we're going to tape down the ribbon. You could use Stampin' Seal Plus or some tear and tape. I'm just going to use some of this Scotch tape. No one ever sees the back side of that one, so that's good. Now this one can go on the front side. We're going to, again, pop this one up too. And this one gets 5 dimensionals. It's going to be heavy in the middle there with that sentiment, so we definitely want some support. Now, where's my take your pick tool? It's like right in front of me. I know it is. There it is. No, it's actually not. It's way over to there. I don't know how I got over there. It kind of just probably jumped. Okay. We'll bring in the Balmy Blue. I do need to burnish this one, so let me just fold that in half, take my bone folder, and just kind of go up and down a few times. I'm going to go a little bit more because that cardstock is not laying flat for me, and I want it to. See, now it's laying flat. Then this is going to be adhered to the Balmy Blue. Okay, so far so good, right? Let's do some stamping next. Okay, so these are the fancy something. Hold on. Something fancy. Okay, this set, okay, if you are looking to join Stampin' Up and you have not many supplies, or you don't have any, you can receive that mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I would add this to your starter kit. It's a bundle, because every single one of these dies will work in the mini cut and emboss. Okay, and all these, this is a sentiment stamp set only, but you do have a few of these little flowers in here. You've got some tags. I finally figured out what these are for. They're for the tags. I had no idea when I used this set at first, but they kind of make the top of the tags decorative, so that's what these are for. But I hope they carry this over, because I can see this is going to be a staple in my craft room. Okay, it's got lots of good sentiments on it. I am using that for, what did I use this for? Oh, I can't remember. Oh, it was my free with a purchase class. All right, so we're going to use one of those labels. Scrap paper is a necessity, so let me grab it off to the side. We're going to do the same thing with our sentiment here. We've got a background image with a floral, and then we've got Night of Navy. I think it was Balmy Blue, so that's what I'm going to try. Pretty sure I did. I got Balmy Blue ready. Put this ribbon off. Again, I'm going to try to show you how I figure out things. So we need the floral image. I chose this one right here. It's on the smaller side, which is great because it will fit that label pretty good. And this will go nicely on a D block. Okay, so we'll take our Balmy Blue and we'll just ink it up. And then we're going to go this way. And then we'll go 2 and 3. Okay, so we got 3 different colors in shades. Then we take our Night of Navy. And we need the sentiment, thank you, with all of my heart. So we'll just grab that one out of here. This will go on a D block as well. Again, the smooth side facing you. And then you're just going to put that on a D block. So now we'll take our Night of Navy and we're going to add it to that first generation. Okay, then we'll add it again to second generation. And then we'll add it to third. Okay, so again, it's going to be the same scenario. this first generation is too like messy looking. The third generation is just a little too light. You really can't see the foliage over here. That middle one is kind of perfect. So that's what we're going to do. So again, we'll take our scrap paper and our sentiment label, and we'll grab the Balmy Blue ink, and we'll take that floral stamp. We're just going to stamp off, okay? And now we're going to stamp right on the sentiment label. This is nice just as it is, right? And then we got our, oh, that's a birthday stamp. Where's the thank you? I think I took the wrong one off. I did, so hold on just a second. I need to start over on that one. So let me get my Stampin' scrub. And I need to I grabbed the wrong one. Guess my eyes were not working. So let me just take this off real quick. Also gonna need to take the and clean this one too. And the Celebrate, because I'll be using those. All right, let's start over here and find the thank you. There it is, right here. I bet, Carla, you caught that one. So let me just take this floral off, and I'm going to use the deep lock again. Now we can go. So we've got our label, and then we're going to just stamp right over top. See how that Night of Navy really pops? And on the inside, it's just kind of blank, so we don't have to worry about it. Okay, so this one, again, we'll have some dimensionals on the back side of this one as well. And we also need all of the foliage pieces. So we have one in Shaded Spruce. And then in the die set, you have 2 of these dies, which is really nice because you can die cut 2 at the same time, and especially if you want them in different colors. I chose just 3 little images here to use as my foliage on the other side. I actually think it might look better with 1 more of these, but the only thing is it's going the same way. So I don't know how I would do. I would kind of, if I put it that way, I think it would be way too busy. You know, just kind of cut part of this off. But I'm going to probably change this up, the little smaller leaves instead. So let me find my dimensionals here, buried. There they are. And this one will have 4 dimensionals. And if you notice, I'm not putting them right to the edges because we need a little bit of room for that foliage to go underneath the label. Okay, and then we gotta grab our card here. Again, always check to make sure it's going the correct way. I like to put this on first, make sure I'm putting it on the right way. And I want this to overhang part of that denim ribbon. Not too much, just a little bit so it's over in this area. Now I'm going to do this one a little different. Oh, there's a little stylish shaped banner in there. I don't even know if you saw it. Totally forgot about it because it's right underneath here. So I might have to, I kind of wanted to just do a little bit different. I'm going to have to pull this up, and that's okay. We can still do it. And if you want, you can cut this right down because you're only going to see a little bit of it. Just want to make sure it's going to fit. Yeah. I just want it poking out just a little bit. So this one will go on with your liquid glue. Again, just slide it underneath here. Okay. Right, now we have our foliage. And we've got these two. But I don't know where the other one went. I'm looking, but it's probably right in front of me. Oh my goodness. Where'd it go? It's got to be here somewhere. I'll work on this. Maybe it's just going to have two right now. And then you guys can kind of see what it looks like. Maybe I'll find it a little bit later too. Let's do that. I'm sure once I get everything a little bit reorganized on my desk at the end, I'll find it. So I don't want to take up your time because I know it's getting late. I'm just going to add this small little foliage here. Okay. And then the mint macaron is going to be on the other side. Maybe not. Let's see what it's going to look like if I add these two together. It's going to look like that, or I can add it here. That way, now you can see that banner. Okay. We'll take our strip. This is just another scrap piece. We have our basic white panel, and this is just going to get adhered on the bottom of this one. I love this basket weave. I would call it the basket weave on the back of this floral pattern. And before I set it down, I'm just going to look at the paper, which direction I like it. And I'm going to go this way. It's got a 1/4 inch border on the left, right in the bottom. We'll take our Stampin' seal, add about a 1/2 inch and 4 corners in the middle. Again, I would have never known that Shaded Spruce and Balmy Blue went together. If you wanted to use this little banner, you still could. You might even be able to add it, you know, I don't know, underneath somewhere. I'm going to save it and put it in my little box. I might need it a little bit on a different card. We're going to add in probably, let's see, I'm going to use the gold ones here. I think they will look really nice. And I'm going to add one right to this little flower down there in the center. It's very large. And then I'm going to grab one of the smaller ones. And form our triangle, right? So one, I'm going to go up here to this one. And then another one. So 1, 2, and we don't want it going straight, right? I'm going to add it. Just lost it. Sometimes if you just kind of go like this, it works. And I'm going to add it right down here. So again, we go boom, lower, middle, and then up. It kind of fits, or it looks like some kind of triangle there. On this one, oh, I just found the foliage, you guys. I knew I would. It was on the other card. But I don't know. You guys will have to let me know. Maybe I don't know where I would put this one now. Maybe it looks better just with these two. I don't know. I'll save this for another card. But anyway, you can pick and choose whatever die cuts you want. You will receive 2 of the smaller ones and 1 of the larger ones for this card. And again, you receive 2 sets. All right. So here's the one with that messy. I think this looks really messy. I think I need to work on that a little bit better. But anyway, less foliage and a little bit more foliage. Our next card, so we've got 3 designs. Here's that first one we made. Here's the second one. I love the silver underneath there. And then here's the third. One more, and it is my favorite one out of all 4 designs. Okay, so it is this one here. It's not, doesn't have a lot of small items. I do need to die cut and blend those, but that shouldn't take too long. But again, I'm going to work on all these little pieces and then I'll do my stamping. So we've got our Night of Navy. And we'll just burnish that up and down. Now here's that Mango Melody panel that I said we would be using. And we've got the DSP under here. So it's this one here. Very similar to the one we just used, but just different colors. So I'm just going to add real quick the glue. And add it down here. Again, 1/8 of an inch border. And this one is glued right straight down to the Night of Navy. So again, I'm building bottom to the top. Let me just look. I like these two down at the bottom. Then we have another panel here. This is cut, this is the smaller flowered pattern, but I'm using the back side here. It's a 3x4 panel. And you can get 2 3x4s out of one of the 4x6s. And this just simply goes right down on the front. Then the next layer up is the Night of Navy frame right here. We simply add our glue just like the other one. You really don't need a lot. And we're just going to center that. Again, you can take your block to press it down. And now we've got some stamping to do. Actually, let's, I'm going to use that strip and I'm looking for my panel. Maybe I didn't cut one. Nope, there it is. So we'll just grab our glue. And this one goes edge to edge. I like a little bit of white at the bottom just to break it up just a little bit. And let's take our seal and just add a little bit more on the back side. Now we have our stamping. Again, I'm using Night of Navy. So really, I'm only used so far 1, 2, 3 ink colors. And I'll use Memento for the flowers. Now this is the birthday one. I want to stamp this kind of a little bit higher than I normally would because I'm going to have that flower down at the bottom. So that goes up there. I actually think I stamped Celebrate on the inside, which I did. So let's do that. Okay, I like that font. Now this one we can add to the front. This one gets 4 dimensionals because you need that support in the middle or else it's definitely going to buckle on you. Okay. That's just going to get right in the middle of that Night of Navy. Now we need Memento ink. This is just a scrap of white. The floral that we used before is here. I just need to put it on a different block. And we'll just flip it over. Oops, I've got ink on there, so let me just flip that over. So we've got Memento Black. We're going to be using Stampin' Blend, so you need to use the Memento Black. And I like to take the ink pad to the stamp itself. That way I can have a little bit more control. And let me stamp it down there. Got a pretty good image. Now I used on this one Petal Pink. I used Daffodil Delight because we used to have Mango Melody blends, but it's not in the catalog anymore. So your closest one will be Daffodil Delight. I used Calypso Coral here and Shaded Spruce for the foliage. And on this one here, actually I used Flirty Flamingo. All right, so there's a little like buds there. So I'm gonna use the same colors. So let me just start with light and dark Daffodil Delight. I'm going to grab my scrap here and just put this over top because it's going to bleed through. And I just like to go over, I don't like spend a lot of time coloring in. I just kind of do my best and it's okay. I know some people will take like half an hour to color this thing in. Me, maybe 5 minutes, no more. Okay, let me just get a little bit more there. I'm going to cap that. You put your blends, make sure you do horizontal so you don't bruise that tip. Now I'm pulling in the light Daffodil Delight. I'm going to go over it a few times because I want it to be a little bit darker than normal. I'm going to let that dry. Then let me find my Flirty Flamingo, or Calypso Coral would look fine too. So I do have Flirty Flamingo. Let me just make sure. Yep, I got Flirty Flamingo. I'm going to add some to the middle here. And then these little buds. It gives it a little pop of color. I need Shaded Spruce, and I also need the Petal Pink. So this one, I just use the dark kind of on the lines. Oh, I forgot a little leaf there. Sometimes it's very easy to do that. Now grab the, oh shoot, that came off. You weren't supposed to see that. Hold on, there we go. This little cap came off. So if that ever happens, don't worry. Be happy. So you just kind of push it back on there. All right, so just going to be very light touches because that is a really small area. Oops, I forgot a little flower there. Once you start coloring in, you'll see the things that you miss, especially if it's like fine detail. It's really hard to tell the difference between, honestly, the light and dark Shaded Spruce. This is a marker that I haven't used a lot, so there's a lot of ink in here, and that could be the reason. Okay, I think I've got all those. I got to go back to the Daffodil Delight to finish this over here. And again, I'm going to go over this one more time. And I'll grab my petal pink and use the dark. It's really hard on this one too. It's really hard to kind of tell the difference between the dark and light. They're very similar. So I'm just kind of tracing the outline. And then I will add the light. I'm going to go back to the Flirty Flamingo. Both of these centers are going to be the same. On the other sample, it was different. It was like a brown and, whoops, wrong one, Calypso Coral. And then there was one little bud there. Now, if you want, you could add Wink Estelle on there to give it some little glitter. I can do that right now because I've got it, Wink Estelle. I will only add it to the flowers and those little buds. And you may or may not be able to see it, but it is there. Now, if you haven't seen the Boho Blue Mini Cut and Emboss, I'm going to be using it today. This is a very special die cutting machine because you can earn this free if you choose. There's 3 different options to join Stampin' Up! Right now. And if you need a die cutting machine, or say you stamp and play with paper crafting with your children or your grandchildren, this is a great tool for them. It's small, it's very handy, and it's just small enough where they can use their little hands, and it's a little machine. So I would totally get this for my grandsons when they're a little bit older. All right, so we've got plate number 1. Then we have our acrylic number 2. I don't need this one, but I do need a number 2. I've got my paper. And let me find the die that goes with this. I'm now keeping my dies inside the stamp set it goes through with Stampin' Storage magnet sheets. Okay, so you may need to use washi tape because we don't have a magnet that will go with this mini cut and emboss. This is going to be fidgety. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I'm going to carefully put this plate on top. I'm going to push it in, and then I'm going to grip this handle here. And it goes right through. May make some cracking noises. That's okay. That's normal. And then we'll fold this right up. Isn't that beautiful? Boho Blue. And guess what? That's going to be a new ink color coming up. All right, I didn't do too bad of a job. I guess I could have done a little bit better, but I would have if I had a little bit more time. But guys, I don't want to keep you guys much longer. Okay, so this here is going to go on here. You have to use 2 different adhesives here because this is going to be as high as here, but you need some height down here to get it up to this oval height, okay? So what I do is I'm going to put 2 dimensionals on here, and then I'm going to use my glue, liquid glue, to put on the top there. So I've got 2 dimensionals that go on the bottom. And then I'll grab my adhesive, the liquid glue, and just put a little bit on here. You don't need a lot. And then we're just going to slide this up here, kind of put it in the middle. I don't want to go into the birthday. Okay. Our final embellishment. And I'm going to use the gold ones again because the Mango Melody, it looks super, super nice. And we'll add one more. 1, 2, and one on this side. 3, right there. Okay, so there's those two. Okay, so I will bring all these back in. So you'll make 2 of these. You'll make 2 of the for a special person on a special day. Celebrate. I don't know if this is all going to fit for you guys. And actually, I think I can zoom out there. That's as much as I can zoom out. So we got this one. We'll go this way. This one and this one. Okay, so this is Card Club for January. And I did say that I would show you what a Card Club typically looks like when you would receive it at your mailbox. I do have one extra from December. So if you're interested in this one, you'll have to email me and it'll be the first come, first serve, basically. $39 a month. If you want to register, this is a URL to register at. But this is a typical Card Club. And last month, we used the Cottage Rose bundle with Abigail Rose. So they come in a cello bag. Okay, and we'll open this up. Let's see if we can find the opening. It's hard to tell sometimes on these cello bags. Very hard to see. Okay, so what did I send in December? Okay, so we'll start top to bottom on this. Here are all your kits. I always include a special tag. And I know some of my Card Club members have been with me for 3 years now. And I know they have kept every single tag. I have too, so I just love creating tags. And it's kind of just a nice little packaging. Looks nice. You also receive a thank you for your order. Okay, and on the back side, it gives you a little bit of like thank you where you can find items. I've got this little QR code, which is nice. You can just scan that on your phone. In class, this class here, you got half of a package of opal rounds and 1 sheet of Stampin' Dimensionals, the regular size, and your card kits. Okay, so there's 4 different ones. Let me just take them all out so you can kind of see. All right, so I do label them. And there was some linen thread that was included in this one. So this is card number 1. And of course, you have 2. And then card number 2. So you can kind of see everything's very, very organized for you. This included Wink Stella. And here's the 6x12, half of a pack of the 12x12 paper. And you can see you'll have to cut it down. This month I'm using the Regency Park, so that's 6x6. And then I provide instruction sheets, which I print out for you and ship with the club. And also I'll send you the PDF so you can have it forever. And then here are all the instructions. I include the supply list, measurements, DSP cutting. So I put that in different colors so it kind of stands out. And this is what you'll need to cut down. Okay, 3 different pictures usually. And then on the back side, it's going to give you all the Stampin' Up! Products that I used in that particular card club. So if you are interested in joining, welcome back, Anita, and welcome Barbara G. She's a new customer of mine. So this is the information. This is where you're only going to see it. I'm gonna have to tear that up. And again, you have until 8 o'clock tomorrow night Eastern time to register. And that's all I have. I'm going to go through. Hopefully I can see the comments and if there's any questions, and then I will sign off. All right, so let's see. Okay, Debbie, the Milky Dots are Mango Melody, Night of Navy, Petal Pink, and a white. I would have never known that was Petal Pink. When will you do 3D projects? Lynn, when I can get to them. I have been so busy. My 3D projects right now, my 3Ds are my list pads in my craft kits, okay? This is what I've been working on in my mini clipboards. I have so many orders that I really honestly can't keep up. So I know you enjoy 3Ds, and I can only do what I can do, especially when I do work outside of the house. So I will try, Lynn. You know I will. Thank you, Lou. Can you turn it over? I'm not sure what you meant by that, Kathy. And shaded spruce has a blue undertone. Yes, it does. It doesn't look like there's any questions that I can see on my side. If I didn't answer your question and you want to know an answer, you can certainly email me. My email address is very easy. It's Karen@inspiredbygram.com. It's right here at the bottom of the postcard here. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's class. I know it was a lot. I know it was long, but I hope I brought you some kind of inspiration tonight where you will make cards as well. So I will see you next Thursday evening, 7 o'clock Eastern time. And I will try to put together another crafting kit or 3D project that I can post on Monday night. So I'm doing my best to try to keep up, but it's very, very hard, but I will do my best. You guys know I will always do that. So if you, again, if you would like to join Stampin' Up, we'd love to have you on the Inspired Daisies team. So give me a shout. I can talk to you about that. And now is the best time to join during Celebration. Stampin' Up does a great job with promoting Celebration and all of the perks that you get during Celebration, and just the mini cut and emboss $63 item. Honestly, it's such a great deal. Even if you want to stay around for 6 months and call it good, that's okay. You get to keep this. So very, very exciting. And I hope to see you on our team. All right. So take care and be well out there.